In this video, I'll show you how to make a beanie using a round knitting loom, step by step. Before we start, let's take a look at the materials we'll be using. Here you can see the round knitting loom, a crochet hook, and a yarn needle, all included in the loom kit. Start by securing the yarn to the loom. Take the yarn and make a simple knot at the end, leaving a short tail. Now attach the knot to the side peg of the loom. Make sure the knot is secure, but not too tight. Wrap the yarn around each peg, moving in the same direction all the way around the loom. Start from the peg where the yarn is attached and continue one peg at a time. As you wrap the yarn, make sure it sits loosely around each peg and does not cross over itself. Keeping the same direction is important to create even stitches. Pay attention to the tension. The yarn should be snug, but not tight. If the yarn is pulled too tightly, it will be difficult to lift the stitches later. Once the first round is complete, gently push the loops down on each peg. This creates space at the top of the pegs for the next round. Wrap the yarn around the pegs again, following the same direction as before. Each peg will now have 2 loops of yarn. Try to keep the tension consistent with the first round. Even tension helps create uniform stitches across the beanie. Using the crochet hook, lift the bottom loop up and over the top loop on each peg. Let the bottom loop fall inside the loom. Repeat this motion on every peg, working slowly and carefully. This is how the first stitches of the beanie are formed. Once you complete the round, you'll start to see the fabric forming below the loom. Continue knitting by repeating the same steps, wrapping the yarn and lifting the bottom loop over the top loop. Knit about 20 rounds in total. This section creates the base needed to form an invisible brim later. As you work, gently pull the fabric down from the center of the loom if needed. To create the invisible brim, take the very first row of stitches you made. Place each loop back onto its corresponding peg, one by one. Once all the loops are placed on the pegs, knit another round to secure them in place. This step creates a clean, folded brim without a visible edge. Take your time here to make sure each stitch is placed correctly. Now continue knitting for 5 to 6 additional rounds. This builds the main body of the beanie. At this point, you can already see the shape of the hat forming. If you'd like to create a two-tone effect, this is the moment to change yarn color. This step is completely optional. To change color, simply attach the new yarn and continue knitting as usual. You can also keep using the same yarn for a solid color beanie. With the new color, knit about 20 rounds, then add another 15 rounds, depending on the length you want. To close the beanie, begin by cutting a long piece of yarn. It's always better to cut a little more than you think you'll need, so you have enough length to work comfortably. Now thread the yarn through the yarn needle. Hold the needle firmly and make sure the yarn is secure before you start picking up the stitches. Using the needle, pass the yarn through the loop on the first peg. Then move to the next peg and repeat the same motion, working slowly and carefully around the loom. As you go, gently remove each loop from the peg once the yarn has passed through it. This allows the stitches to come off the loom and transfer onto the yarn. Continue working around the loom, making sure every loop is threaded onto the yarn. Take your time during this step. Accuracy is more important than speed. Once all the loops are off the pegs, hold both ends of the yarn and slowly begin to pull. As you pull the yarn, the stitches will start to gather together and the top of the beanie will begin to close. Pull gradually, stopping occasionally to check the shape of the fabric. If needed, gently adjust the stitches so they close evenly and smoothly. Keep pulling until the opening at the top is completely closed. The fabric should look neat and rounded, without any gaps in the center. Before moving on, Take a moment to make sure everything is secure and properly closed. Once you're satisfied with the shape, you're ready to secure the yarn and finish the beanie. If needed, gently adjust the yarn one last time to refine the shape and make the closure look clean and smooth. If needed, gently adjust the yarn one last time to refine the shape and make the closure look clean and smooth.